everybody, my name is Alizé, and this is my son. What's your name?
Sunny.
This is Chef Sunny for the day, and with everything that's going on, we realized that it's really tough to get some staples sometimes at the grocery store, and we decided it'd be kind of fun to make our own bread. So this is a super easy recipe. You'll see the recipe listed above, and it has pretty much ingredients that you might have in your kitchen. So to start this, Dutch oven bread, as I call it, don't fall off. What we need is a package of yeast. So go ahead and put that in, Sunny.
Right now?
Yep. And then 1 teaspoon of sugar. So let's get this sugar out.
And Mom,
Yes, Sunny.
Can I have the teaspoon, please?
Yep, here you go. So this is a half a teaspoon, so you gotta do 2 of these, okay?
2 of these?
Yep, 2 of those.
Okay, half of them.
That's a half a teaspoon. Go ahead, put it in there. And then 1 more scoop. So we're going to do this in a KitchenAid mixer, but you can pretty much do this by hand. It's just a little bit more laborious. So we like to use this.
You cannot put your hand in it, so...
Yeah, because it'll almost eat your hand, right?
Or it can almost cut your head off.
Okay, probably not your head off, but maybe your hand off.
I said hand.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. And then we're going to do 1 1/4 cups of warm water. So make sure that water's not too hot, because then the yeast will not proof if it is. So
yeah.
Go ahead, pour that in. Good job. All right, so we're gonna lock this in, and what we're using is the dough hook, this thing, because obviously it's gonna get a little bit thicker, so this is a type of attachment you're gonna wanna use. So go ahead and turn that on for just a couple seconds. All right, turn it off. All the way. Probably didn't need to go that fast. But what we're gonna do now is let this yeast proof for 5 minutes. So you can tell it's proofing because it'll get a little bit bubbly. So we're gonna do a close-up shot of that, and we'll check on that in just a second. So you can tell the yeast is ready for action when it starts sort of being moussey down there. Yeah. So the next thing we're gonna do is add some salt, and we need...
I will pour it, okay?
Yes, we need 1 1/2 teaspoons of kosher salt, and just because I don't trust this kid, I'm gonna do it over my hand. Go ahead. All right, stop. 1, we need 3 of these, keep going. 2, hence my hesitation from over the bowl. And tiny bit more, okay? Stop, stop. Well, that works. All right, so we got that in the bowl, and then we're going to add, it says 2 1/2 cups of bread flour, but you can also use regular flour in case you don't have bread flour in your kitchen already. We just make bread all the time, so we have it. I'm gonna get a guard for this kid because once again, cleanup is not so fun. And we're gonna turn this back on. Do you wanna turn this on to medium, Sweet Pea?
Yeah, medium.
Go ahead, just to like number 4.
Number 4.
All right, we'll go a little bit lower so you can still hear us. And then we're gonna do 2 1/2 cups of flour, and we're gonna add that gradually.
2 of them?
2 1/2. Here, let me scoop for you.
And what?
And then go ahead, put that in there.
Okay. Oh, that was a big mess.
Yeah, it was a big mess. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay if I make a mess.
Yeah, because you're the one vacuuming after, right?
No.
What? Yes, ma'am. You like vacuuming anyway. Go ahead, put it in. And then here's our 2nd cup. Go slowly with this one, Sunny, okay? And try not to get more on the floor than in there, because then it's hard to measure like you're doing right now. All right. And you'll see that the dough is starting to get a little bit thicker, so we're gonna let that run for just a little bit before we add about 1/2 cup more of the flour. Be a little bit more flour?
Yeah, a little more, yeah. Because it's really sticky and we don't know how to like unstick it, so trying to not make a mess. There we go. Not make a mess.
All right. We're gonna let that go for a little bit. Probably about 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes.
So we're gonna hit pause and then kind of show you what it looks like. So you can add either a little bit more flour if it looks a little bit too sticky, but we'll show you what the consistency should look like. All right, so that looks like about the right consistency. So Sunny, go ahead and turn it off. And then unhook it here.
Unhook it there.
And we're gonna pull our bread out. All right.
Can I hold it?
Yep, we need a little bit of flour on your hands though. Quit eating it.
Why?
Here, give me your hands. Rub them together on top of the bowl, preferably. All right, so.
Can I hold it now?
Just a minute. So you can tell this is kind of the right consistency because it's a little bit sticky, but with a little bit of flour, it's not gonna stick to your hands. So this is kind of what it looks like. You wanna go ahead and hold it, Sunny? Mm-hmm. All right, so that's about the right size it's gonna end up. And then you're supposed to flour like all sides of it and put it into a bowl to rise. And they say a separate bowl, but I'm lazy and I don't like to do too many dishes. So we're gonna go ahead and put it right back in this bowl.
To let it rise?
Yep, to let it rise, that's right. So we're gonna just make sure to flour all the sides because there might be some bread residue that make it sticky.
I can put it in there.
Okay, go ahead and put it in there. So put that in there and then we're gonna cover it up and
It's gonna rise for 5 minutes.
an hour, but pretty close. All right, so we have let our dough rise for an hour now. Sunny, if you wanna open it up and show everyone what it looks like.
They can't take it out.
Okay, do you see how that's gotten way bigger? It was a ball about this big and now it's huge. So from here, now that we've let it rise,
I can hold it.
we're gonna put some flour on it.
Oh, it's really squishy.
All right.
Can I hold it first?
Well, here, let's get some flour on your hands here, Sunny. And we're gonna take it out. We're gonna actually just roll it out here. And okay, I'll hold it for just a second while I get the rest out. Don't squish it, just leave it, just hold it. Just hold it. All right, we're gonna plop this down over here. Let go. Okay.
I got some.
I know.
A lot.
I know, it's yummy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna fold
Yum.
the edges in here on this side. Folded it in a little bit and we're gonna put it back down on this floured cutting board.
Mm-hmm.
Pat it down, Sunny Bunny. All right, awesome. And we're gonna cover this back up for a half hour to rise a second time. So here's our Dutch oven over here. We're gonna turn our oven on to 460 degrees. Here's our Dutch oven. We're gonna put it in here, our bread, and actually bake it this way. So I'm gonna cover this up and stick it in the oven while the bread rises. We've let our bread rise for 30 minutes and the Dutch oven has been heating up in here. So this thing is 460 degrees, so you gotta make sure to obviously wear your oven mitts and be really careful when handling this. Close up the oven. And you wanna open this to show everybody how this bread has risen?
Look how big it is. That's how it rises.
That's great.
The yeast makes it rise.
That's right, the yeast makes it rise.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take this bread and put it into this Dutch oven, seam side up. We've put a little bit of flour inside the pot so it doesn't stick to the bottom. All right, so now we're gonna put the top back on. Remember, 460 degrees, so be really careful. And we're gonna stick it in our oven for 30 minutes. Okay, the timer just went off saying 30 minutes. So what we're gonna do is pull this out and take off the top. And we're gonna put it back in the oven for another
10 minutes.
yeah, that's right. 10 minutes or maybe even 20. It's done?
Yep.
All right, let's pull it out of the oven. Yeah, it looks great. All right.
I'm just trying to
Might be kind of hot to cut up, but we can give it a try. It's nice and golden brown on the top and on the bottom too. Looks like it was cooked perfectly. So it was great to put it in for the extra 10 minutes. Should we try cutting it and see what it looks like inside?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Looks great.
It does, right? Put some butter on it.
Sure.
Might be a little hot to eat, but
Mama, I can put it on there.
okay, go ahead. Put the butter on.
Butter on. No, that.
Maybe not quite that much.
Yeah, that much.
All right. Hope you like your bread buttery. Go ahead, spread it on there. Don't touch it, it might be too hot. It's nice and steamy. Yeah.
This is our bread.
This is how French people butter their bread, right? Lots of butter. All right, happy Easter, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Hope you like the bread recipe we made, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.